Cascadia and I are sitting here. He's covered in snow. I'll put that video, that little clip after this. But I watched a certain YouTuber's video talking about Cascadias today. I don't usually do this, but I want to explain the importance of gauges. According to him, you don't need any gauges. He didn't say that, but the company he works for got some Cascadias, got some typical company truck. It's got minimal gauges. Now, this is not a typical company truck. This is a W9 with a full gauge package. Now, to me, I think you need the gauges. I think you need your primary air gauge. Yeah, that's got that, I'm sure. Your secondary air gauge, I'm sure it's got that. I'm sure it's got a fuel gauge. And I think his that he was showing had a suspension gauge. Not all trucks have suspension gauges. But, you know, it's kind of nice to know your oil temperature, your transmission temperature, your boost, to know if your turbos are working right, your front axle temperature, your rear axle temperature. It's good to know these, so if there's a problem, you'll know. But hey, what do I know? Of course, you got your depth gauge, your brake pressure, you know, push on the brake, and it goes. Your fuel filter gauge. Now this one to me is really important because a buddy of mine doesn't have it in his truck, and he had problems with his fuel filter, but he had no way to know. This thing is awesome. Your air filter gauge, that's important, right? You want to know if your air filter's clogged or not. This truck has got these huge air cleaners on it, so that needle don't ever move. Brake tractor gauge. Of course, you got your speedometer. You got your RPM gauge. Your oil pressure, but every truck's got to have that. Your amps, volts, and water. See if I can get that through there. Water. Now this YouTuber, you know, he's typical company guy, which is fine. Good to be a company guy. Defending his company, saying you don't need this, you don't need that, blah, blah, blah. Pretty nice to have. Granted, those are nice trucks, but to criticize people because they have gauges and then to go through wants you to go through a menu on a little LCD screen to go through and find information. My information is, I see it immediately. Sorry, I'm having a hard time here. But anyway, I see my information immediately. Granted, someday I might get in a different truck and they may not have it. If so, oh well. But don't put down folks for having gauges. It's good to be able to look at your dash and be able to see how your how your truck is performing. But hey, whatever. He's big time YouTube star. What do we all know? Well, I do want to congratulate him on his new truck, but I don't know. Someday we'll get to see it. We'll see. Talk to you later. So, Petey decided he's going to play in the snow outside. He is covered in snow. Look at this. Covered in snow. He is running around like a madman outside. I can make snowballs with him. Petey! What are you doing? You're covered in snow, buddy.